Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to do something a little different, and I'm just going to say a statement up front. Fear for a very long time, anxiety for a very long time stopped me from doing the things that I wanted to do the most in life. When I was a kid, and I'm very glad to have a supportive mom that had helped me through a lot. When I was a kid, fear and anxiety and the statement of what if always held me back from accomplishing and doing anything in this world. Before going to soccer tryouts or going to school on the first day, I had so much fear and anxiety around scenarios that were completely out of my control. I would say, what if a random person said this? Or what if I missed the soccer ball and I embarrassed myself in front of, 20 other people my age? Or what if somebody doesn't like my outfit? Or what if, the list goes on. And it was nonstop. It was always there. And I'm very grateful to have the mom I have because she took it upon herself to really work with me and explore, why that stuff exists. And I'm grateful to say now that the what ifs in my life are so much less apparent now that I've gotten older. Many years later, it's been a journey, to say the least, of anxiety. And I think one of the proponents as to why I don't have anxiety as strongly as I did before is much related to my mindset on life and everything else. Now, I just want to say up front that I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not anything but just a normal guy that has experienced life and wants to connect and share and resonate with other people that are also experiencing life. So everything I say, take with a grain of salt, because I don't want it to be your end-all be-all. I'm just offering a perspective just from another human that's been there and done it and has gone through it. But with all of that said, my mindset on life really shifted over the last 20 plus years of my life. It went from the what ifs that were negative, and I've transformed those what ifs to positives. So instead of what if, I failed in my soccer kick, or what if the people don't like what I'm wearing, or what if this and that, one of the things that really helped me was, what if it actually pans out? What if the good happens? And acknowledging the brain when it comes up with those negative thoughts, or what we feel as negative, and then just embracing those and saying, okay, hey, that is one train of thought that I could take, but there's also many more that I could take. What if they do love my outfit? What if I start a trend in this school? What if I actually kick the soccer ball into the net and now I'm the star player of the team and I get the position I want? Granted, the things are much different now in my life than it was many years ago. The what ifs are now related to finance, related to my purpose, related to very introspective and existential things. But the topic still stands. It's first I realized, okay, hey, my what ifs can now be transformed and I can acknowledge my thoughts as just thoughts, not actually being me. When I recognized that and I said, hey, well, if I just be me and I just embrace that and accept myself for who I am, as well as the thoughts that my brain comes up with, I end up learning so much more about myself and what I like, and I lean into that without the fear of judgment. It's easier said than done, but I think it's important to acknowledge that the brain is a very powerful tool that we have, but the thoughts that we have are not actually us. It's conditioned based on what we have experienced in our life. And those conditions that have built up these thoughts in our mind tend to push us into a direction of thinking about one thing or another. For instance, I have a personal fear in my romantic relationships where I'm fearful that a romantic partner will cheat on me. It's not directly related to my current romantic partner or any future romantic partner, if I have any, or whatever that may be. But it's important to acknowledge that it's not the person, it's the thought that's there. And so that conditioned brain, the conditioned thoughts that exist, first, aren't always, most of the time, tied to the individual person, right? Like, you're not fearful because of the individual, of you experiencing something, or you're more so fearful of what others will think. At least this is my experience, and yours could be very different. But I was more fearful of what others may think about me and the outcome of the scenarios that were completely undetermined. Most of the time, our bodily reactions, our reactions to the fears, we project, or I project. I'll say I, because I don't want to say we. If you resonate, you resonate. If not, don't take it to heart. Take it with a grain of salt. But, my fears first go into protect mode. They're like, hey, well, if I have fear about this partner cheating on me or whatever that may be, even though they've given me no specific reason as to why they would, that fear still exists within me, blah, blah, blah. That exists, right? But now it's, hey, why are we actually thinking that? Why are we so fearful of in general a partner doing anything to us? You're still your own individual. You're still doing your own thing. You have no control over any situation. And the more you try to control a situation, it turns out the less control you actually have. And it's kind of very counterintuitive to every scenario beyond just romantic relationships, right? So the first lesson I'm really trying to exercise in my life right now is just to let go of the control and just acknowledge that I don't have any, if at all, maybe an ounce of say in what happens. And the more fear I push into anything, oh, look, there's a hut up there. The more fear I push into anything, the more likely the things that I fear, because thoughts are very, very real and they manifest into different things, the more I fear something, the more real it can actually become. And it's kind of like crazy when you start to think in that mind frame of like, I'm actually working against myself. Even though it's fear out of many different reasons, it's like, you don't need it. It's not there. And it's not reality. There's so many different realities you can choose. And the one is always do the thing that feels the most uncomfortable to your soul, unless it's actually bad fear. Most uncomfortable to your soul because that's what it's fearful of doing. Like for me, even starting a YouTube channel brought up, okay, well, what if I'm not consistent? What if I'm not embraced by the community? What if my voice isn't good enough for these videos? What if, and the list goes on, but you just gotta do it. We have 60 years left on this planet, and we have to stop fearing and pushing anxiety into the picture when there's so much that we can provide to this world, and people will grab onto when you are your authentic self. And I think that's just really it. I'm realizing I'm making these videos not only for you guys, but also for me. I recognize that being vulnerable about things in my life removes pressure around them. And so if you are experiencing something or anything like that, I would suggest finding people that you trust and talking to them about it. You don't need to go through anything alone. And actually, by experiencing vulnerability with other people, you end up building stronger bonds and relationships. And so by exercising that uncomfortableness of exposing the deepest, darkest fears that you have over anything, even if the person is involved or isn't involved, will ultimately, in the long run, A, help you get through it, and B, help you build a stronger relationship with those around you. So first thing is always be vulnerable with yourself. Sit with yourself and acknowledge what's the deeper rooted stuff to it. Is it actually the person that I'm anxious about, or is it the situation I'm anxious about, or is it something else? And once you pinpoint that, you go, okay, well, hey, we don't need to stress about this. We're good. And then let's actually go talk to this person and tell them what's up and actually talk about our emotions with them, because it's the healthiest thing we can do for ourselves. It removes the pressure. I had a spiritual mentor very early on in my college life, and they said something really important to me that has stuck with me. It's 3 words. Resisting is persisting. To resist something actually gives it the power to continue persisting, to continue with the power that it has. And so when we actually acknowledge and say, hey, this is something that I'm fearing in my life, and we bring it to the light, and we release the brain from its anxieties and its stresses around it and just speak it out loud, it removes the pressure that is formed around it. So just me talking to my girlfriend and saying, hey, this is something that I'm going through, and it's not related to you in any way. It's just this irrational fear that has come up in my body, and it's painful. It hurts a lot, and it actually prevents me from getting to know you better because I've built constructs in my brain that do X, Y, and Z. She's more informed. I'm more informed about myself, and I release the pressure around it. So then I know when I need to communicate that, she knows what I'm going through, and she can resonate with that. And I think that's just something like we can really lean into and embrace and say, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to experience bad emotions. We don't need to fight them because, again, resisting is continuing to persist. To fight something, it will continue to be there. So stop fighting it. Start living with it. Embrace it. Accept it. Be vulnerable. Continue that beautiful journey of self-growth, self-love, and it will ultimately come out better on the other end. Now, I will say this world will be our Let's Talk world. It's actually, the seed is Let's Talk, LET''S talk. And if you want to join on this seed with me and listen along while you're playing with me, you're more than welcome to, because I think this format of talking gives us an environment and a space to just mindlessly play. I'm literally on peaceful mode right now because my purpose isn't to beat Minecraft in this world. It is just to explore myself, get vulnerable, get uncomfortable with the experiences that I have experienced in the past, and explore things about me with you guys in hopes that, hey, maybe through this, you guys will resonate a little bit and push yourselves to grow with me. That's really all I want out of this, is just to be vulnerable, to show it's okay to not be okay, to grow with you guys, and whatever happens from there happens from there. So I just want to say we're going to keep building this hut here, keep on going, and get it going, and we're just going to build a little house. The last thing I really, really want to pin on here is, if you have a dream and that dream is holding it, for some reason you can't fulfill that dream, like it's holding you back, there's something just not right, it doesn't feel good, you're fearful of the outcome, you're fearful of the what-ifs and everything else, just please do yourself a favor, pull back from that thought, and just, instead of saying, well, I'm not ready for this, I need that, say, what if I am ready? What if everything that I have right now is more than enough for me to do this? And recognize that whatever you want to do, it's going to be an iterative process. You will continue to grow through what you're doing. If you go back to my first video on this channel, the left channel of my audio was completely broken. I didn't even know it because my speakers weren't even saying it. And in the first video, everybody was like, wow, my left ear really is enjoying this video. I got a laugh out of it, and then I recognized, hey, you know what? This entire journey of doing YouTube, one, you guys are going to be along for the ride, and two, so am I. And I'm going to learn so much through this that we're just in this together for the long run. Nothing will ever be perfect, right? We can never ask for the perfect scenario. But what we can ask for is for ourselves to truly let go and of that pressure of succeeding, and embrace the uncertainty and go, you know what? We're doing it. We're doing it. We're going to post that first video. We're going to ask that person out that we were so scared of asking out. Even though the outcome might be no, it's better than the outcome of not asking. And so I just want to say I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for this experience of being on YouTube and just being able to focus on what my soul wants, which is creating videos in hopes to inspire and bring introspective thought, as well as help escape the craziness of the world for a minute and just give that space to breathe. So thank you so much for joining along on the video. We have a half finished home, but if you want to see it finished, drop a like and subscribe on this video. Let's get the word out. Let's share our experiences with the world, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for coming along, and goodbye.